All right.
Speaking of special, I want to share a special story tonight. My dad and I sit on his front porch looking over Big Cypress Bayou in Jefferson, the bayou. And he turned to me and said, I've got some lines in the water and I need to get them out before the water gets too low. You want to go? Sure. I never missed a chance for a boat ride with Dad. We got the boat, he fired the engine, he eased away from the dock and turned downstream. And with the 45 horsepower Evinrude at full throttle, our little 14-foot John boat was bow up as the water rushed beneath us. We made a couple of bends in the river, and Dad slowed and turned into what's called the government ditch. Now, it's not a ditch. It's a channel that was dredged in the late 1800s so those big boats could navigate between Freeport and Jefferson on their journeys from Jefferson to New Orleans and back and forth. So anyway, we're in the ditch, and about the end of the ditch, he cuts the throttle, makes a sharp right into a western ditch. Whoa, Dad, hang on. I dodged the brush as he maneuvered through the brush and the shallow water. We came out to a beautiful, serene, small lake that was dotted with majestic fall cypress trees. The skirts on those trees were 6 to 8 feet wide, and Spanish moss hanging from their branches tickled the water's surface. Dad knew the river like the back of his hand. He maneuvered through those trees and then turned into the narrow, very narrow channel of Little Cypress Bayou. You got the Big Cypress Bayou, you got the Little Cypress Bayou. We went from big to very little. Now, due to the fact that the water was falling, Little Cypress Bayou was now an obstacle course of fallen, partially submerged trees and logs. Dad yells over the growl of the motor, hang on. I grab the gunwales, I feel a jerk, I look back, and he's yanking up the motor shaft to clear the propeller. Then I feel the pop when the bow hits the water, and the light bulb went on. He jumped the log. Turned back and he grinned. He says, now wasn't that a thrill? Yeah, first of several. So we made our way through the channels and into the backwater to the first trot line. Dad was a trot line fisherman. So we exchanged places. So he's now in the bow and I'm at the back at the motor. He reaches down and he grabs the line and methodically begins to remove any catch. We did catch a few. And then pull the slip knot, remove the hook, and very carefully place the hook and hook line over the lip of a white 5-gallon plastic bucket. Very carefully. He did this with every hook on the line. Reaching the end of the line, he pulled that final slip knot, rolled the twine up into a perfect round ball, and tossed it in the bucket. Dad was methodical and a master of trot lines, fish hooks, and fish, going fishing. Well, we run that first line, and he got everything finished, and he looked back at me and he says, "Can you take me to the next lines?" Sure. I turned and started the motor with trembling hands. I hadn't done this in maybe a decade. But watching Dad's nodding head and finger pointing and gestures, which I learned as a child to watch, I maneuvered my way around partially submerged cypress knee trunks, cypress knees, and skeletal stumps. And really, I didn't bump the boat but twice, as we ran 2 or 3 more lines. Reaching the final line, Dad goes down, grabs it, looks back at me, and I hear familiar words of my childhood. Something heavy on the line. Really? What do you think we got? We speculated. A big Opelousas catfish? Ooh, that tastes good. Or maybe a pesky turtle. We eliminated the blind eel, aka Big Stick, quickly because there was too much fight in the line. Because I'd seen the line and Dad grabbed it. It'd go slack and then it'd get tight, and it was just rippling, buzzing at the surface. You've seen them do that. There's something on that line. So Dad ran the line, okay? And I was focused on Dad, and I had my little flip phone. That's what they had back then. Had my little flip phone. I was focused, laser focused, ready to take a picture of whatever came up. Wham! Bang! Something hit the side of the boat right at my left arm. It scared the bejesus out of me, and I jumped up to the other side of the boat. Now, you really shouldn't do that in a boat, but I did. And I said, "What was that?" Dad turned wide-eyed. He said, "I don't know. I didn't see it coming. Did it get you? Are you okay?" I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay, yeah. I was still standing. I wasn't going to go back onto that side of the boat. But just as I said, "I'm okay," the water to the left of the boat began to turn and churn and bubble, and up comes a huge, hissing, gaping mouth and hits the side of the boat again. The open pink mouth was big enough to hold my head. It's huge. And as it turned and submerged, I caught sight of black, shiny spikes on a shell. No doubt, a huge and ancient alligator snapping turtle. Ooh, now what? Well, we quickly decided we did